Hi, welcome back. This is Truth, and all I know what to do is tell you the truth as I know it. My name is Tom. Please like, subscribe, share the video, and if you wouldn't mind, leave a comment down below. Now, I do want to say before I get into this video, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You need to do your own research, get your own information. I highly suggest that you hire a financial advisor. It costs very little money. Like 1%, and make sure they are a fiduciary, because this way they're responsible for your money. Now, today, obviously, we know that the sales numbers for Q2 the second quarter, Tesla came out today, and they came out at 385, which was considered a beat. I wasn't expecting that. The consensus was 355, I think. I wasn't expecting it to be that high. So consequently, the stock did good today. It went up. I think it closed at 314. You remember the whole thing yesterday with Elon and Trump, and I did a video on that. The stock went down. I bought the stock yesterday at 293. So it was a buy the dip opportunity. You know, we joke in the Tesla community that we feel like there are times that Elon will do something crazy. He'll send out a bunch of crazy tweets, and it drops the stock down. And then those of us who obviously study really hard on the company, we see that happen, and we're like, oh, here we go. Here's buying opportunity. And we joke about, I know he wouldn't do it or he couldn't do it, but we joke about the fact that it's almost like he does it on purpose for the loyal believers in the company. So we get flash. I call them Elon flash sales now. We get these flash sales. But anyway, the 385 was a great number. Not expected at all. I joked this morning that what if we got a number that was 399? That would have been good for the stock, but 385 wasn't bad. So I do believe, nobody knows what's going to happen. I do believe that we've kind of crossed a threshold now. You know, the numbers are down because sales are down. Sales for everything are down. My God, people are saying, oh, Teslas are not selling. Nobody wants EVs. Car sales across the board are down, period. Tesla in the EV sector is outselling everybody, basically. And there's definitely brand damage. Like we saw the numbers in recent days, like there were great numbers in Spain. There were good numbers in many countries. Of course, Norway, Sweden, Australia had good numbers. Parts of Europe did, but Germany was really, really bad. Ireland was flat. Ireland doesn't have a lot of cars, but I'm from Ireland, so I like to follow that. And shout out to Brian at Future Oza for mentioning the Irish numbers. I subscribe to Brian, and he does good stuff, and he's a really funny guy. So I'll leave a link in the description to Brian's channel. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, I have to talk about the mainstream media. I hate calling them mainstream because I wish I could think of a nasty name for them. Some people call them legacy media, but their legacy will be a legacy of lies. So Phil Labauo, we all know, is on CNBC, CNBS I call it. And I'm going to change his name actually. I'm going to call him Phil Labauo, because all he does is bow down to the establishment. You know, the parent company, of course, is Comcast. They own NBC and all their affiliates. And, of course, what does Comcast do? They sell internet. And guess who else sells internet? Yeah, that guy, Elon Musk, Starlink. And also, keep in mind that NBC, CBS, CNBS, Bloombergler, Roto-Reuters, as I call them, all of these people depend on advertising for big corporations who happen to also make cars. How funny is that? Yeah, next time you're watching CNBC or any of those, just notice all the Ford and Chevy commercials. So you can understand why it would be really hard for Elon Musk or anything Elon Musk does to get good numbers. But anyway, I digress. It's so annoying. So Phil Labauo came out this morning, and he did a little piece on, you'll see it, and it was on the Tesla numbers. And he says, 385, that's right around what estimates were. No, it wasn't, Phil. 385 was a beat, and it was a huge beat. But you see what they do? Heaven forbid they give Tesla any kind of a remote slice of a win in any way, shape, or form. It's completely disgraceful. And the same guy, Labauo, he had an opportunity the other day to do an interview with a man who I believe is extremely intelligent, extremely smart, extremely knowledgeable, a gentleman by the name of J.B. Strobble. Now, if you don't know who J.B. Strobble is, and you're focusing on Tesla, or you're focusing on the battery business, or you're focusing on clean energy, you need to understand who he is. He owns a company called Redwood Materials. And what they do over there at Redwood is they recycle batteries. The goal of battery recycling is to create these vehicles that are fully self-sustainable and recyclable. So try to imagine 90% of your EV being recycled. Like, just try to imagine that. That will come. It's years away, but it will come. But anyway, JB made a big announcement the other day that he's in his plant in Nevada. He's got one in Sparks, Nevada. Not very far, by the way, from Giga, Nevada, which is obviously where they're building the Tesla Semi. But anyway, he did this interview with Phil Labauo, and what they're going to be doing out there in Sparks, Nevada now at Redwood Materials is they're going to be taking used EV batteries, and they're going to be making energy battery backup systems with them. Basically, I know you're familiar with the battery storage units, the mega packs that Tesla make. Well, JB now is going to be doing the same thing, and they are going to have huge success with this, because even a battery that's old in an EV, it still has an awful lot of power. And of course, they will, recycle some of this or rebuild it or whatever it is they do. They'll make a battery stew out of it, and they will provide energy from those batteries. And of course, Phil Labauo, oh my God, he's disgraceful. Phil Labauo had to bow down again. I don't know how many questions he asked JB, but let's say he asked him 10 questions. 9 of them were hit-style questions on Elon or on Tesla. And I thought to myself, what a complete waste of a great opportunity to interview somebody who is basically building the energy systems of the future. And you had to go and try to nail Elon Musk. J.B. Strobble, by the way, sits on the board at Tesla. But this is what Phil does. This is what the media does, right? So J.B. handled him brilliantly. I mean brilliantly. He gave him absolutely nothing. And he's such a gentleman. He's so polite. And he was brilliant. He handled the interview brilliant. But there's nothing worse than watching somebody who calls themselves an analyst or a reporter, and they're just so ingrained, or I guess maybe a better word is they're so enslaved to the culture that they have married into, that they don't have the ability to step outside that and ask somebody like J.B. Strobble, extremely intelligent guy, a question that would benefit the entire country. Like the CNBC is supposed to be, doing analysis on the economy, on companies, on stocks. They're supposed to be asking the hard questions. They're not supposed to be asking stupid questions that are set up questions for Elon Musk. So anyway, great numbers, 385. Giga Texas is retooling. Robotaxi has rolled out. It's extremely successful. We believe it's going to ramp. And the reason we believe that is, as you know, the invites went out to some of the top influencers, I guess you would call them, or content creators on X and other platforms. They got the first invites. Then there was a second tier of invites that went out. And I actually signed up. I'm in another state, but I signed up, for Robotaxi to be allowed to use it and get the app. Until it comes to my state, I won't get it. But it turns out people in Austin, Texas now who signed up on the Tesla website for, the Robotaxi app, they are now getting invitations. And there was one gentleman, I forget his name, I'm so sorry, I want to say it's Ethan. I'll flash a picture up of his thing. He's on X. I believe he has something like 250 followers or something. So in other words, he's not some high-flying channel. And he got an invite yesterday to participate in the Austin Robotaxi. Elon also said yesterday or the day before, he said that there was a possibility that those monitors, safety monitors, who are the people who are currently sitting in the passenger seat, they're not in the driver's seat of the Robotaxi. He predicted maybe 30 or 60 days that they would be eliminated. They would be unnecessary. But that could change. It could be 3 months, 4 months. I don't care if it's 6 months. I don't care if it's a year. Robotaxi will ramp. It's extremely successful. And I can guarantee you the next earnings that you see coming out, you're going to start seeing Robotaxi revenue in there. You're going to start seeing energy revenue in there from the battery packs, from the mega packs, because Tesla are getting these $100 million, I know that's not a lot of money and when we're talking about billions these days, but they're getting these $100 million contracts from countries in some cases to build up these battery backup storage systems for the grid. And we need a lot of backup for the grid. I did a video on that yesterday. But anyway, great numbers today. It's a really successful day. I'm very happy for everybody. And I'm especially happy for all the bulls who went out yesterday, took the chance. The stock dropped below 293. It held its own. If you were buying down there, even if you were buying at 305 this morning, you're way up. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please, like I said, like, share, comment down below, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.